What's up, everyone? It's Gavin or Tweek.
Brian, what's good? What's good? It's Marcus or Pink. I was just thinking about something.
What up? What up? It's Charles or Chuck, and unfortunately, no has today. Very, very busy man. But we got three of us here, and I guess before we get started, I'm gonna hit it with a quick show. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you guys enjoy the content. Today, we're going to be recording some Patreon content after we record this episode. The topic will be favorite tournaments of all time. So if you guys want to support us directly, make sure to check out the Patreon. We give bonus content every single week. And what else is there to show? Oh, Genesis Black this weekend, qualifier for Watch the Throne. So super excited for that. We'll see who gets to qualify for that. And I think I saw on Twitter that Umeki is actually going to go to Genesis Black. So that is really sick. We might see. I heard Mute was thinking about it, and I think Cosmos. I don't know if Cosmos is confirmed, but Cosmos was thinking about it. So a lot of players are thinking about it. We'll see who shows up and gets that last qualifying spot for Watch the Throne. Really excited for this event, and also really excited about Gavin being a speedrunner. And I want you to tell everyone on the podcast about how your speedrunning journeys are going.
Yeah, I decided to start learning how to play Mario RPG as fast as I can. It's been going well. Like, I'm seeing like clear improvements all the time. When I play the game, I always say like, "Oh, I could play this every day." Like, just like how much I like the game, and I was like, "Wait, like why don't I do that? Like, why don't I speedrun it?" And it's been a lot of fun, especially because this version of the game is new. There's a big community behind it, and it feels like a whole new world, to be honest. And like it's really cool to just try my ass off at something. I don't know. It's been a lot of fun, and I've been practicing a little bit of Smash as well.
Nice. Of course, Watch the Throne coming up. So I'm very curious. Does it have the same vibe as like competing in like Smash or practicing for Smash? Because it is like a form of competition because you're trying to get your time as low as possible. You know what I mean? But the dynamics have to be a little bit different, right? Because it's all, like speedrunning versus a fighting game. There's going to be tons of differences.
Yeah.
So
In terms of the execution, like especially since I'm new to it, I'm just trying my hardest to like get everything right, like in the battles and like the little tricks you can do and everything. Um, I will say that it feels like it helps me with being focused in Smash, if that makes sense. Like every individual input all of a sudden feels more important to me, and like I feel like I play with a slightly different perspective the past couple of days, like more from about like when it comes to like surviving and not getting hit, if that makes sense. I don't know. I don't know if it's placebo or not, but it felt like I was like OD focused when I played Smash the last couple of days because I've been like, just because of what I've been doing on the side. It's pretty interesting. I'm trying not to overthink it. I'm trying just to be like, oh, that's cool. But yeah, it's kind of interesting. That's the only real answer I have, though, is when it comes to comparing them, I don't know, but it does feel like it's helping me with other things.
I know that when I was like trying to get better at Osu, I know this is a weird game and like not even remotely similar, but I guess like execution wise, like
you can find similarities, especially with
yeah.
like, just like rhythm type stuff.
Mm-hmm. I would always tell myself like, if I can focus on this, then I can focus on Smash, right? Because like it's like it's a long period that you're like
you can't
truly
breathe
locked in
for a second. You know what I
right?
mean?
And it's probably like that's probably what's happening is like you're locked in for hours at a time. Like I can't.
I think what it is it's making Smash easier.
Yeah,
for us.
Yeah.
I think it's literally making Smash easier when it comes to the second to second part of it,
right,
or something like that.
Probably
like
something along those lines.
It feels a little more relaxing and like I can breathe almost when I play Smash. It's cool that we're talking about it because I think I'm connecting the dots like on why I feel the way I feel just by talking about it.
Yeah, a lot of just like there are obviously times, and I think that's true in Smash too, right? Like there are times where like you're kind of chilling for like a brief moment, you get your breather. Like it happens in games that you speedrun unless the game is like 30 seconds long or something.
Yeah.
But if it's like an RPG like that, there are times where you're just walking to the next spot or something like that. And in Smash, like you just took their stock. Like you took their stock. They're flying. Like you get your second, you're like, all right, how are they coming off the Angel platform? Like, you know,
Yeah.
and you're like, you just lock back in.
You
I
have
think
two
that's
seconds,
something it's
right?
good at. It's like teaching you like when you have to lock in and when you don't have to be fully locked in.
I like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I like that. Yeah, the more I like, because I've only fully played through RPG like twice since I decided to start learning stuff. Um, and like the second time, or like the like when I was playing a little bit today, it's like you said, I kind of I'm aware of when the break time is,
Mhm.
like when the cutscene is, when there's like a couple minutes of like just skipping text, like it's like you can like divert your focus when it's necessary or something.
Mhm.
That's a really good point. I'm
Yeah,
glad you're so ready to talk about this because I feel like it's like a new line of thinking for me, and you're like making me connect the dots for sure.
I watch a lot of speed runs. Like I watch
Yeah,
AGDQ and SGD like every single year. So um there are times where they're like running the game and they're like, okay, like here's a break. You can like read donations out, right? And then
yeah,
there are times where like they just tell the commentators, everyone, like, okay, like it's quiet time, like I need to be locked in for this specific like
yeah.
trick or whatever. And then they just go back to so it's like really good at the able to like figure out when they need to lock in or like when they're chilling. So,
Do you think people like watching speedruns
yes.
because of no? Well,
Oh,
yeah, but
I
like,
was like, yes.
um, because of like the routine behind it, like they like the more they watch, the more they know what's coming. Like, because like human beings are kind of like routine, schedule oriented. Like like they're watching the same streamer every day and they're playing the same games and they know what's gonna happen. Like, and they can kind of, I don't know. I feel like there's like some sort of um, you know logical reason behind that, like human nature type thing.
I could see that, especially because like if you watch the same game, or I think it starts with like you liking the game, right? So like you see someone
Yeah,
playing, I don't know, Metroid Dread. For some people, it ruins the game for them, but that's a whole nother thing.
yeah,
But, like you see someone like playing, like I just thought of Metroid Dread because Void Speed ran a lot of Metroid Dread,
yeah.
and
That was cool.
I never played it, but I would watch it and I was like, oh, he's gonna do this trick here, and then like, oh no, he messed up this execution thing, and
There's
like you
like a
kind of just
comfort
get
thing
invested.
behind knowing what's happening, like
Hmm.
with something you enjoy too.
Yeah, it's just like, oh, like, or like you see something like a new trick they discovered, you're like, bro, that's kind of sick. Like
Yeah,
that saves 2
you're so
seconds.
used,
Like,
you're so used to the usual or something. Yeah,
mm,
I feel that when I'm playing too. Like I'll enter a room and I know there's two options. There's the hard thing and then there's the safe bet, and it's
yep,
just that's going to be interesting when I actually have experience and stuff. But
When you start going for full runs and then like you
yeah,
get to the part where you're like
I have
maybe
not
I'm
even
not
timed
feeling so
myself yet. I'm just
confident,
playing.
or yeah, I mean it's a pretty long speed run to be fair. You're not doing something that's like 20 or 30 minutes.
No,
I You said like professional levels like 3 to 4 hours, right?
no,
About
a good run could be under 3 hours at the moment for the Switch version. But
only like a little bit under though, right? Like 2
I
hours
think at the
15.
moment it's only a little under, but I
Okay.
don't even know for sure. I haven't looked at like a bunch of people, like mostly just like one or two people, and like just so I can watch it and learn it. It's not really about the time, but yeah, it seems like you know, for me personally, a good run would probably be like 4 hours, because like the last time I played, it was like 4.5 to 5. So like it's really hard.
I
yeah,
think the interesting thing about speedruns for me at least when I'm watching, and I think this is why, you know, the just streaming or watching content around speedruns is so cool, is because there's so much people that have played these games, whether they finish them or, just know of them or maybe just dabbled in them, and just watching it get played at the highest level to me is always interesting. And even if I'm watching like basketball, which is something that I don't watch too much of, right? It's still really sick to see the sport being played at the highest level or whatnot, right? Like just watching anything being played at the highest level, I think is really cool and it's really intriguing. So I always think speedrunning has that going for it. You know what I mean? And a lot of people can relate to a lot of these older IPs or these games too, right?
Yeah,
yeah. Especially like if it's a game where you're like, bro, I struggled on this boss for mad long, bro. I wonder how they're gonna beat it. And then you
two
just see
turns.
them like, yeah, they just, all right, well, they're asleep while they're playing. Like they're not even thinking, they're not even looking. It's just, oh yeah, I got it done real quick. And you're like, bro, what? Like it was that easy the
Yeah.
entire time. Like,
I was so like jealous. Like I watched some people like do the 100 super jumps in Mario RPG, and they're like talking to their chat at some points, and it's like, wow, like damn, like I need to get that comfortable with it because I've gotten it like less than 10 times, and like it's something you need to be able to do on command. Like I'm a lot better every day. I notice like my average amount is like higher and higher, but like damn, if you can talk to your chat or like not, like you don't have to be 100% locked in during such a frame tight thing like 100 times, like you can do anything, bro. You
It's
can.
so funny listening to you say this as if you don't play Super Smash Brothers,
Yeah,
and people are thinking the exact same thing. Like you're doing like all this Diddy stuff, and you're just casually like, "Yeah, man, like how's everybody doing today?" And you're just Z drop like blah blah blah, and you're just like, "Bro,
now that I
what?"
think about it, most of the things I do are tighter numbers wise.
Yeah,
And you're like
like,
fighting a person while you're doing it.
you're just not even like thinking about it either. It's just like happening. And you're like, "Yep, just another day in the office."
Smash is just so separate to me than anything else, though. Like I acknowledge the difficulty, whether it's in general or like what I'm doing, right? But like I don't know, like it's something new, and like we talked about, it's a nice like it's like I'm unlocking or like dusting off a part of my brain and like getting mentally stronger or something. But yeah, we could talk about Smash Bros.
Whoa, wait, real quick before we jump into Smash, uh, Gavin, why don't just for the more nerdier listeners, tell them like the frame windows for the jump, the 100 change.
So the game is new, and I haven't done research on everything, but I do try to keep up. And I heard that for the super jumps, like I don't know the exact frame, so I'm not going to say that, but I know it gets harder at 14, and also gets harder at 50. So it gets tighter a couple times at least. I think in the original it was harder. I think at one point it's like just like a 2 frame window, I think, for most of it. In this game, I think they might have given you an extra frame or something. I'm gonna have to do more research, but yeah, it's cool learning some stuff like that. There's also some other stuff like you can like barely jump on a save block and it doesn't push you into the air to save, and you can use that to platform on areas you couldn't before. Or you can encounter an enemy, run away, and then jump off of it because you can't encounter it anymore when you run away. Or like skips in a mini game, and that stuff I all have down, like almost all of it. Um, Super jumps is like the only thing that's like adding like hours and hours to my to my gameplay. So I don't know. It's nice. Like it feels like every time I play, I get a little better, at least at something, which is cool.
Yeah, the feeling of improvement. Just
Yeah.
like a lot of these other players had to improve to go ahead and get these W's. We're going to check out the LumiRank recap and take a look around the world here. We had Gluto getting a W at UFA, A plus tier there, and then Mia getting a W, A plus tier at MAESUMA, and then Ken winning a B tier. Looks like the tournament was called Wave Champions, number 6. And then down in South America, Gotham getting first place at a C tier there, Battle Coliseum. So shout outs to all the players that were able to get those W's. And I know for us, the main topic of today is going to be UFA. That's definitely the tournament I watched the most of. And
Yeah.
it was a banger tournament, man. UFA was a great watch.
Yo,
Honestly,
actually, I want to say something. I
uh
don't want to sound mean
Ooh.
or take away from anything or like say what we should or shouldn't do. But this podcast is not just like a recap.
oh, my
For
guy.
we're not just gonna like spit out the results and then like end the recording. Like
Yeah.
usually we're talking about what we want to talk about. Like we just talked about speedrunning for 20 minutes, which not gonna say that was a good or bad idea, but when it comes to Smash, we're gonna talk about what we want to talk about, and it might branch off into other things. Like this is just some friends who like Smash Bros. And there's a lot of tournaments, and I'm sorry, but we're not just like the Weather Channel or something.
Gavin's had enough of these YouTube comments.
Honestly, no. I've had enough of you guys stressing out thinking you're not satisfying the right crowd. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's fair.
Like I don't think that's fair to y'all. Like I think it's important for us to talk about what we think is interesting, and if it is, cool, and if it isn't, like I don't like the results are like. If you knew about the results, why are you so upset that we didn't tell you about it? Like, I'm not trying to be mean to anyone, by the way. I think the comments are valid. I think there's just like a misunderstanding.
Yeah,
That's all.
that's fair.
But yeah, UFA was very crazy. The production over there is always amazing. Haz did have a couple things he wanted me to relay
Oh, nice.
to everyone. He wanted
Okay,
to
let's
say
go,
congrats
Haz.
to Bluto, very dominant, and he wanted to also send a shout outs to Ruffalo, making a case for one of the best players in Europe. And yeah,
Yeah, Roflo had a crazy, crazy tournament, man. What a like! I just couldn't believe that set with Leo was very fun to watch. Shouts to Roflo. I mean, really just leveling up so much. What up? Another Roflo fan in the chat, of course. But yeah, I mean, I felt like Roflo has leveled up so much, throughout his entire career, but especially within the last 6 months, man. Oh my goodness. Because didn't Roflo have a really good run at SmashCon as well?
pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Solid.
Yeah, pretty solid. I mean, SmashCon's a really fucking hard tournament. So,
Gotcha.
yeah. So the fact that Roflo is able, it's crazy to me because when you think about UFA, Gluto didn't even have to defend Europe. Like, think about that.
Mm-hmm.
Think about that statement.
Yeah.
Gluto
Yeah.
just fought all European players.
Yeah.
So that
That
is just
base mage
crazy.
set was crazy.
Again.
Okay, again.
Oh, he did have
And
to
then
fight
that base
mage.
mage Leo set was crazy. So actually, that's what I
Again.
think is an important thing to talk about. Is one, how solid base mage is, and two, those game fives are going to go base mage's way eventually.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. Base mage has a lot of game
those
fives.
are two crazy game fives with two of the top placers of the event. And yeah, with Jigglypuff. To be fair, I think Jigglypuff has potential to even beat Wario straight up.
It seems annoying for Wario
Like
at the very
it
least.
feels like an even matchup, maybe even Jigglypuff favored, which is interesting. Maybe you're just gonna call me a Wario pessimist for saying that, but I'm serious. That matchup can be hard. It could probably go a little bit either way, but it's close. Is what I'll say, and like Jigglypuff has a lot of advantages. But yeah, Base Mage did really incredible. It was early over here when I was watching this, so it was like 8 a.m. or something, and I was watching Gluto versus Base Mage and like freaking out. So that was a great thing to wake up to. B and I were just like, what is going on? Like, this tournament is gonna be crazy. But yeah, also shout outs to Leo for having a really, really long losers run. At one point I thought he was gonna go the distance or at least grand finals or something. What did he get? Like fourth, right?
Fourth.
Yeah, he had to win like 6-7 loser sets to get to that point. So that was crazy. And yet once again, that set with Base Mage, like he literally was about to lose, bro. That set was crazy. Same with Gluto. I think Base Mage got a rest. Gluto lived. Gluto hit a waft. Base Mage lived, and then Gluto barely won. Like, it was just crazy, bro. But yeah, Ruffalo was playing really well, really fast, and like you said, grand finals was Gluto Siski. But I think once Gluto got past, like, he had a couple game fives. He had a game five with Base Mage, game five with Tarik, who's also been leveling up a ridiculous amount. Like Haz was saying, like, people making cases for strongest European players. There's another clearly obvious one. But yeah, once Gluto got past those nail biters, he just looked so comfortable. He just got more and more comfortable to me, which was interesting because I didn't think his offense was super on point as an avid Gluto watcher. I didn't think he was playing super crazy when it comes to like hitting people, but the comfort was there regardless, like in neutral and like defense and stuff. which is nice to see because I think Gluto mostly wins a lot of the time off of the openings he gets and the amount of damage he deals. But it seems like from a traditional Wario standpoint, that's what was winning him these games, which I think is a big deal when it comes to being as well-rounded of a Wario player as possible.
Yeah, I think for Gluto,
like if he can win without being Gluto on hit, that's a big deal.
Right. I think it's one of those things where like you're so comfortable. Like I feel like if you went to your locals a lot, or if you played, let's say you played Jackal, right? Like you're not gonna pull out all your tricks, like all the things that
Yeah.
you're gonna do what you know you need to do to win, and then you're just kind of gonna win because you've done it so many times. It's like doing like a rep at the gym. Like, all right, like I don't need to exert too much. I just need to do like enough that I know that I'm gonna get the W. And sometimes I may need to turn it up when things aren't going my way specifically, but otherwise, like I'm just gonna get the dub and like keep it moving. And that's what was really interesting about Gluto this tournament was he didn't have to fight too many of the people. Like he avoided T, and I was like, that was like the one thing that I was like really.
That was what was concerning was the offense wasn't there, and he was very close to playing T.
Yeah,
that
was like,
was what was concerning for me as someone who wanted to see him go as far as possible or maybe even win, which he did, which is great. But yeah, I was interested to see like, okay, if you're not hitting super hard, but your defense and your neutral are looking pretty good, then maybe you could do well versus T. But that didn't end up happening. Also, shouts to T. They were saying on the mic while he was competing that he had won like 4 majors over there. Like over there.
Almost every time he goes.
Like he's just chilling when he goes to Europe. So I forget what placing he got exactly, but he still did great. But I know him and Leo played, and those were 2 people who have won UFA events. So that was interesting. He went full Kazuya.
What?
That was interesting.
What was that about? Yeah,
we need to talk about
like,
that.
You can't help but always question because of like how good they are with different characters. It's like you also just like I feel like you never know what to expect with those 2 sometimes. Yeah, full Kazuya, especially like
for Siski.
The Siski one. That's the specific.
Like that's where I was confused.
Like getting smoked game 1 and then just like riding it out, bro. Just like full Kazuya. And I know he has used Kazuya versus Siski before, and that like went great, like perfect. So I get it. You know what I mean? But like we don't have him on the show, so we don't know exactly what the thought process was. Also, if you're watching on YouTube, you're looking at the stage Yoshi story, which was very interesting. This event,
Leo scammed a win.
That was crazy. That not only were these stages legal, everyone was down. Like that was crazy. Like Lylat and Yoshi's like a lot in top 8, like a lot. Like I was tight. Like watching it. Like I was like, because like it jump scared me the first time, and then it kept happening. I was like, stop. But yeah, that is crazy. They are relentless, bro. Everyone was trying to win, bro.
Dude, but you know what it is?
Like Marcus just said, I don't think it worked for everyone.
Dude, you know what it is? It's didn't Kurama get picked up by like an EU org?
Yeah.
That's why the rule set has Yoshi's, bro.
True.
They're trying to see some Kurama W's.
Kurama, I don't think Kurama, unless they banned it every time and he was going to, but
they had to have. There's no way you let Kurama go to this stage, bro. You do not want to
play on this rule set. So
was it different when you went to Terra?
I'm trying to remember that because
you played on the unified rule set at Terra.
Okay, so maybe it was weird for them to play on that one. Because I think someone showed me this rule set while I was at Terra, and they're like, "What do you think of this?" And I was like, "This is terrible." I thought they were just showing me like something they were interested in doing at their locals. And they're like, "No, this is like what we do," or something like that. And I was
I'm pretty sure Terra played on the. I could be wrong. I'm assuming this, but there's a.
I don't think it was this. It definitely wasn't this.
Okay. There is a unified European rule set. I guess Terra didn't play on it. Gavin was at the tournament, so I assume like I would take his word over it. But they do have a unified rule set that's 9 stages. So it's like the standard 7 that we usually see, plus Yoshi's and Lylat. Yes.
That was crazy.
So it's pretty crazy out there, but you have 3 bans. So
okay, that's what I was curious about.
yes, you have 3 bans. There's no DSR 3 bans. So
Don't I really only have one ban because Yoshi's and Lylat is legal? True.
True.
Yeah,
I mean, it
That's a
just
class.
depends if you're down to play on slants. It's so weird when we talk about slants specifically because I fucking hate slants, but I also understand the dynamic it brings to the game, but I hate the inconsistencies that come along with it. Like, oh, you can only jab lock going uphill or down. It's like, what the fuck what are we talking about, guys? Like, we're really introducing this slant shit so short characters can corner camp and crouch in the corner, right? Like Sheik and Diddy can crouch in the corner and down tilt me on my whiffed aerials. And then on top of that, like now we're changing jab lock bullshit. Like, and then also, oh yeah, and then on these slanted stages, like this usually doesn't 2-frame, but now since I'm pointing my fucking down tilt downwards, now I'm like stabbing into the fucking ledge. Like, what?
Stabbing.
Why do we like this shit? I don't get it, and I respect.
It's crazy that you are doing this rant right now at all.
Well, yeah, I never thought I would have to do this rant.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Europe's out
saying.
here, bro.
That's crazy. Like,
Europe's out here. I'm just giving my opinion on why I don't like slants. I understand that there's another side to it, but like the other side to it feels more defensive than offensive. And there is offensive parts like angling moves downward towards the ledge, so you can be more offensive with something that is already like ultra omega safe and broken, which is 2-framing, right? Like you just tend to take a stab at it. But yeah, I don't like the defensive parts of it. I don't like how it fucks with like jab locks and stuff. And then notoriously, Lylat was also just a shitty stage in Smash 4. At least it's a lot better.
Decision.
Yeah. Even, you know what's crazy?
How did this work out?
There was a Genesis that Lylat was legal in, and Mars took Gluto there on Game 5.
I know!
But isn't that fucking wild?
Okay, low-key, this would be my thought process. Once it hits Lylat Game 5, it's like, oh, it doesn't count anymore. No, like, I don't care. Like, it's over. Like the set's not serious anymore. Like, that's my genuine
You have to burn a ban on it to make it a serious set.
Yeah.
Isn't that fucked?
But like imagine like my thought process like, oh snap, I'm about to lose. I could pick Lylat so I can mentally check out and like I can be like, oh well, it was on Lylat.
This was Game 5, right?
Yeah, Lylat.
I think this is a good stage for Greninja because Greninja has a low profile. So I don't know whose counterpick this was.
I'm sure it's at least
Leo's.
It was Leo's.
It was Leo's. That's why I was saying it's crazy. Yeah, I like if I was in that situation, I don't have to ban Lylat usually, probably because Diddy Kong doesn't get like affected that much.
I think Diddy's good on
Yoshi's is interesting because I think Diddy is like amazing on Yoshi's, but there's some characters that are just a little too good on Yoshi's to risk it. So I would probably ban that stage at least a decent amount. But it's just crazy, like that I'm seeing this. Especially Lylat. It just feels like year one type shit. Like, just the stage being legal.
As I'm watching this, like, we gotta give some flowers to Tarik. Like, what in the world? Bro, he almost reverse 3-0'd Gluto and Leo.
Yeah.
And, like, everybody's like...
He was fighting for his life versus Gluto, too. He was, like pushing out crazy situations, like, finding early kills, like...
And you're just seeing him adapt on the best adapter. Like, what's happening? Like,
that's true. Yeah.
What in the world? Like I don't know. I think all the traveling he's done recently has helped him out a lot, and maybe he's like also taking it a lot more seriously because he's been traveling so much. But that also goes to show just how important traveling the world is now. Like when playing Smash, like we've started saying it a lot more. But
so much experience and like unique ones at that too. Like different ones. You know who else did well was Big Boss. Big Boss punched his ticket into top 8 as well. I thought that was impressive. He had a reverse 3-0. We were just talking about reverse 3-0s or potential ones. He had a reverse 3-0 on Karama, which was pretty wild because it was one of those things where you're watching. I recently had a loss like that myself too, where I'm playing and like I'm just like chilling, and then all of a sudden it's like 2-1, 2-2. You're about to win. Yeah, like
Mr.
just
Krabs
type shit. Like
How did this happen?
I feel like a good player, like even when they're like struggling, if they like get a whiff of a little bit of momentum, like they will take it and they will like do everything they can to ride the momentum, especially if they don't have like any more games to work with. Um, and yeah, I think Big Boss got a little bit of momentum and just like stuck it out and ended up getting like a game 5 last stock win to get into top 8. Yeah, did y'all see the crowd? It looked like there was like a thousand
It
watching in the venue.
might have been, bro. They
Like,
take it so seriously. It's so
dude,
cool.
it's crazy. Like,
So for all the listeners that don't know what UFA is, it's pretty
right,
much Europe's Evo. So like they have a bunch of different fighting games and all that stuff. They have like crazy production. So it's yeah, I mean it's pretty much Europe's version of Evo. So they again multiple fighting games and they go all out with the production and you saw it there. I mean the crowd was just absolutely insane. The production value was absolutely insane. France always killing it when it comes to bringing the like production level. Like France brings the production level higher and higher for Smash and just like even esports in general. You know what I mean? They're doing a fantastic job.
Yeah,
yeah,
it's like super dope to see all these tournaments in Europe because every time I'm like, dang, I want to go, and then I'm like, for what? I'm like, just to go. Like honestly, like I'm just a spectator at this point. I'm gonna get like 97th and be like, well, that was fun. But yeah, I mean, spectating's fun. Like I don't know, competing's
yeah.
fun, spectating's fun. It just depends on like why I would want to go, right?
It's
One
like
thing
a
I did,
different world. It's like they treat it like it's a traditional sport, which I think
yeah,
I've said it before. It makes it feel like it makes me feel so proud to have this job in the first place because like the way they react when you're playing over there, it just makes it feel like you're doing something cool and like it makes you feel good at what you do. You know what I mean? Like um, that's a great feeling, and I
yeah.
feel like the gameplay showed it too. Like so many game 5s, there's some reverse 3-0s, there's like some intense emotions. Like watching it like 6 hours behind was just crazy because like it's like 8 in the morning, like I said, but I'm awake because I watched Base Mage and Gluto fight to the death. Um, yeah, there was also a Japanese event this weekend.
Oh wait,
Before,
before we pivot to Japan. Oh, wait, you had something, Pink?
We probably should
oh
have
yeah,
talked about Siski a little bit too. Give Siski some credit for
that's
being.
my
Oh,
guy. So you know what? It look, if we give the buzz credit every episode, you know I hate calling it like I thought about this yesterday. I was like, dang, I really keep calling this man EU the buzz. I gotta stop. But EU the buzz, Mr. Consistency over
Yeah,
in EU gets his flowers. The dude's just very consistent. And
yeah,
he he beats some tough Samus matchups. I don't really know how he does that either. But yeah, he's very strong as a player, and I think it's super sick to see like we have a very solid idea of who like the best players in Europe are, and in whatever order. Like Gluto's one, but then after that, like some people would argue Bloom's peaks are higher. Some people would argue Siski's consistency is better. I mean, it's one of those things: consistency versus peaks. And then like Raflo, and we really starting to see like if you see these people when you're traveling to Europe, like you can't be sleep. Like you're not just gonna walk over to Europe or fly over to Europe and just like win the tournament for free. But one thing I did want to talk about was my man Leo finally shut down the haters. That's what I'm talking about, Leo. That's what I'm talking about. Like, my man is like, bro, I've been playing Smash since I was 15.
yeah,
I am almost 25 now. I think he said 23.
yeah. I
I
think
was
so.
playing Smash to get out the gutter, bro. I was in the streets struggling, okay? Fighting for my actual livelihood. Right? He posted this tweet talking about like, bro, I'm in a way different spot. Like
Yeah,
I've achieved my goals. My family's comfortable. Like I'm living well. I'm not fighting for my life anymore. And a lot of times that's what separates like the super best players in the world and the players who are very good but not at the number one spot. It's literally their hunger, like how much they want it. It's
Yeah,
they all have the skill to do it. It's just how hungry are you at that time in the moment, like how much are you willing to fight. And Leo said, bro, I'm just gonna go to work, I'm still gonna clock in. He's obviously improving. He started doing footstool guns, like he's improving. He's trying his best, right?
yeah,
But he has to try his best with the time allocated to him with the different life stage. Yeah, when you're 15, like you just go play some Smash Bros and like it's lit. When you're 23 and you're trying to live your life and like take care of your family and you get a girlfriend and like you're trying to build the rest of your life like for your future, you start to learn work-life balance. That's what that is. Like you can't just
yeah.
go to work all the time. If Smash is your job, you're not just gonna play Smash all the time, or the person you're trying to build a future with is gonna look at you like, why am I here? Like I don't need to be here. So
There's so much to talk about
yeah,
with this.
exactly. Like shout outs to my man Leo. Like just letting him know, hey, y'all
He's
need
never
to
mean to, he's never mean to anyone either.
yeah,
Like
exactly.
he never has to say much,
Mm-hmm.
but when he does, I feel like he's very professional. I feel like he's always been that way. Um, but it's cool to see because I've obviously had that conversation with him a couple times, whether it's about himself or myself. And growing up, like like I was aware of my situation, I was aware of my peers' situations, like the other top competitors, and like that was the interesting thing, right? Like you said, like doing something like this to provide for your family, and like it's like an opportunity to live a more comfortable life. And that was something I thought about too, like, oh yeah, no wonder he's doing so well, because like there's the talent, and then he also like Marcus is saying, there's like a hunger to it. And it also helped to keep me motivated, like the fact that I didn't have that reason made me want to like you know come up with any reason to like fight just as hard. You know what I mean? Like I don't know how to explain this. It's kind of me talking about it for the first time, but it just reminds me of a lot of stories from traditional sports, whether it's people that were in similar situations or people that are in opposite situations, like Steph Curry or something. Like he's one of the best players to ever play, but he wasn't playing like to make it to the next day or something. There's a bit of there's a lot of different situations, and like the reasons you come up with in your head, whether they're real or not, they can really like motivate you to win.
Yeah, and just because Leo did pull it off doesn't mean he always wants to be like feeling those emotions when you're in that situation. I can't say from my own personal experience, I've never taken the leap to like compete to pay for rent or something like that. But
You
one
live
of
with
my
someone.
closest friends did that. And I mean, when
Yeah,
Void did go to Hawaii, or not, when he went to California from Hawaii, he only had like, maybe like $20 or $30 in his pocket. And he was literally going to tournaments to win, to pay rent. And I mean, I always told, like, back then I didn't really have like a ton of money or anything, but I was like, well, Void, if you ever need a flight back home, I got you. Like, you know what I mean? So at least he had that safety net, but I can't even imagine the feeling of like, I've competed in tournaments, but I haven't competed for my like livelihood. I was competing for like, oh shit, well if I get third place, I get my money back, and then if I get first, I guess I can buy McDonald's for everyone. I don't know, fuck it, right? Like it wasn't back then, especially like Brawl and Smash 4, you weren't competing for a lot. And I mean, I guess even Ultimate obviously has scaled up a little bit, but it's not too crazy unless it's like ultra top level, right? But being in that situation and the amount of stress, I can only imagine is not fun. So if you have the choice to not have yourself be in that mentality, and then on top of that, once you kind of cross, so like I guess once Leo did so much and was very very stable, right? You can't even put yourself back into that
Mm-mm.
feeling. You know what I mean? Because once you get to a certain financial part of your life, or at least like once he's gained so much finances from the situation, you're literally not. You don't have to win this tournament to take care of your family or whatever, right? Like as long as he goes goes and he does as much effort as he can and all this other stuff there. But that stacking pressure to like win is not as much as before, right? And you can't even emulate that feeling. So yeah, I'm glad that Leo at least explained and like talked back, you know what I mean? Especially on Twitter, because everyone's been throwing in their 2 cents about it. But at the end of the day, the way I look at it, I love the game, and Leo is a real motherfucker, and he showed us the highest level of the game at different periods of the game for a very long period of time. And I appreciate the fuck out of that. I appreciate anyone that will push this game as far as possible, because I personally just love watching this game get played at the highest level possible. So the fact that he was able to do that and he taught the world about this game, right? Like that's the way I view it. And he's done his time. He's paid his dues in terms of like being a Smash competitor. So I do not know why so much people get on his ass for whatever reason. It just makes no sense to me. And he's still competing and he still does very well. So it's so weird that even on this podcast, sometimes I feel like, just from seeing shit on Twitter, I'm like, why do I feel like I'm like trying to defend Leo? That's such a weird feeling. You know what I mean? Like this, if anything, this is one of the last people I would have to defend like their Smash skill at the game, right? They're one of the greatest players of all time. And even if you really break down, the history of like from Brawl to Ultimate, and you scale it in terms of just like it, in my opinion, it's harder to win in Ultimate than it was in Brawl, because the player base was smaller. It wasn't as big, right? Like
Yeah.
Leo's the greatest player of all time in like Brawl, like Brawl and post Brawl. So it's like, and you can't even deny that. It's just like,
Yeah.
There's not a lot of people that even come close to that. Even if Leo's not getting first at every single tournament, and you look at someone like maybe Akola would be next in line or something like that, but even then, it's like, how long has Akola been doing this? And then you look at Leo's track record, it's simple math, right?
Yeah, and it's funny when it comes to like defending him or something. It's like he doesn't even need it from us either, because
Exactly.
It's not like he gives a fuck. Like
Nope. Nope.
But yeah, it's interesting. Something I always tell him is like I want him to find any reason he can to like be extra motivated and play the game and everything. But he's obviously still learning things. He still like cares about his character lineup. We talked about the footstool stuff. Like he's clearly still there, but the game gets harder. There's a larger player base in terms of like top players. Like he's in a different situation. Like it's kind of crazy how high the bar is for him. We've talked about that so many times. I remember seeing someone that was like insulting him by saying he had only won one major this year at some point in 2023 or something. And I thought about it myself. It's like, I've only won one major this year.
It's hard.
And I'm not getting that treatment. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's crazy. Shouts to Leo as always. Shouts to the UFA. The whole event was great to watch. Lots of crazy moments.
Dude, the EU scene is leveling up like crazy. So this episode of Coach's Corner is going to drop next week Monday or Tuesday. But we had Gluto and Snorley on. Snorley is Gluto's coach. So yeah, so it was a really cool episode, and it was we also have Ramses on our podcast as well. So they talked about on the podcast just like how Europe's been leveling up, and Gluto was very happy that like he said there was players that he wanted to play like outside of Europe that he wanted to play. Obviously he had the set with Base Mage, which was really hype, but he didn't really get to play them because France / Europe did so well, and that's usually not the case, right? So again, like we opened up talking about this segment with just that fact alone, the fact that Gluto didn't really have to defend Europe or / France, right? So shout outs to the whole European scene. This is the strongest Europe has ever been, from like Brawl to now in like the quote unquote current Smash game. Like this is the strongest they've ever been, right? I think overall as a continent, right? I know there's obviously a bunch of different countries within EU and we kind of just group them up together, but yeah, I mean, they've been leveling up, like Reflo getting a ton of great wins, second place, Siski doing amazing. There's so many great European players that if you go to Europe now, it's not just like, oh, okay, I just got to beat Gluto and I'm good. You know what I'm saying? Like there's so many other players in Europe that you got to worry about now. So yeah, I mean, shout outs to the European scene really leveling up. They've been grinding for a really long time, and in terms of opportunities, they don't really get a lot of them, right? A lot of the big tournaments happen in the US. So the fact that this region kept on leveling up, kept on grinding, and now, they're performing really well, we could see a lot closer competition in terms like of the best countries, right? Like in terms of like ranking countries slash continents. I think it's sick. I think it's really cool when the whole rest of the world, all the competition is like spread out all over the world, right? And then that's what make offline tournaments so hype, is because everyone comes together and then you get to see all these different countries slash continents like battle it out.
Yep, for sure. It's just, I don't know. Global game. Let's go.
Let's go global game.
Big topic as always, talking about that.
And then we have what, Japan, MAESUMA, Mia making his claim for being top one in the world.
That is quite the discussion.
Akola wasn't there. He's just playing friendlies. I don't know. I don't remember if he DQ'd or if he just didn't enter and then showed up to play friendlies, but he did not enter the event regardless. He was there to play friendlies, and well, you know what that means. At this point, it feels like if you were to bet infinite money on one of those two winning an event in Japan, no matter who in the world showed up, you have pretty good chances of winning. Yeah. It's tough. That kid is very, very, very good. He also played he played a lot of Steve and Grands. He played Yoshidora and Grands, and he was losing a lot as Game & Watch. I think he lost 2 games. I think he won game 1 as Game & Watch, lost game 2, went Steve game 3, and then won. And then he went Game & Watch game 4 and lost, and then he went back to Steve and won. And that's how he won the event, was with Steve. So that was really, really interesting to see. There was a lot of very strange results, but that's to be expected with Japan. I don't know. It's like weird. They have like, one is like this very consistent, okay, here goes Ako, and here goes Mia, and here goes Yoshidora. But even some of the like really consistent players like Gakt and Ashimo, like Ashimo had a pretty tough tournament. But Yoshidora got second.
Yeah.
And they had a Toon Link level, I think it was level 1. They got
third place.
Third. Inkling was in top 8.
Didn't Banjo get a pretty good result?
Yeah, he beat Doramigi.
Does anyone know how to pronounce her tag?
I just know it's Moze or something.
Yeah, I watch this Banjo all the time. They are so cracked. Like I love watching this Banjo player play, and yeah, they beat the really good Min player.
Like how?
But I was going to sleep, so I'm like going to sleep, and I'm like, someone tell me if the Banjo player wins. Like I'm like going to sleep, and he beat the Min player, and I was just like laying in bed, like, how's this possible? Like, like just insane. Like, yeah, the placements are always like a little wonky as usual. Inkling, a character I've never lost faith in.
Oh my god.
You and Light.
Never lost faith. Good job.
Yeah, you.
Tuli getting third is wild, because that is definitely not a character I necessarily have faith in.
Who's better, Toon Link or Banjo? Come on, it's Toon Link. Come on. Oh, is it close?
It's close.
I mean, they're both pretty trash.
What? Okay.
I think Banjo's better.
I think Banjo's better. Of course, Infinite. Yeah.
Taz Banjo. I mean, now that you mention it. Now that you mention it.
Damn, I don't know. It's close.
It's close. It is close. I think you know what's crazy.
Toon Link can scrap.
Toon Link got some buttons. That F tilt, goodness.
There's some good buttons. The dash shot is solid. The down tilt solid.
Up B ledge trapping is fucked up.
I just don't know how y'all be getting hit by Boomerang Fair. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Agreed.
Everyone was getting fucking pieced up by the Boomerang, bro.
How are you getting hit by Boomerang Fair that much?
It's like, it's cool if it happens once or twice, but
I'll give you one pass.
I'll give you bomb fair. Like,
that's been the thing to look at. Okay, that was crazy. That up top.
Oh, he's got tech.
But okay, like that's been like the thing to look out for like over a decade.
True.
Like, I'm not getting hit by it.
You're
Like,
getting
I'm
hit
not.
once.
You got to put me in a situation and a half for
Yep.
me to get hit by that shit. I don't know why we're talking about this. The Toon Link player did great.
Ooh!
Obviously.
Dang,
Yeah,
yo, hold up. Toon Link's broken?
it's Yoshi though. Like,
What does that mean?
Yoshi ain't good either.
Yeah, Yoshi's not good. It was
These
crazy.
players are good.
Yeah, winning with Banjo is so insane to me. Like
Sick.
that Banjo player, aside from Zachary, is probably the second most skilled Smash player in Japan. Just because you're getting
Aside from
that
Zachary.
far with
Ever.
Banjo, you're getting that far with Banjo. Come
Okay,
on now.
Banjo's underrated, low key. Let's chill out a little.
Wait, what the heck?
Underrated, but like not enough to like be significant.
Boop. Yeah, see, his edge guarding is crazy.
It's all it takes sometimes. It's a little boop.
Like he plays really fast.
He does.
It's really cool.
And then he runs out of Wonder Wings.
Who
That's
decided that?
That's okay. We just punching.
Okay, if you gave Banjo infinite
It's
Wonder
order.
Wings, right? Infinite Wonder Wings, do you even think Banjo would be high tier?
No.
No, right? Even if you gave him infinite Wonder Wings.
It would make recovery so consistent.
That's true. That's like the only thing that
What?
came to my mind.
High tier, maybe? Definitely not a top tier.
I don't know. I don't.
I shouldn't say tier. I
It's
should
the
say
same thing like
top 20 or
saying like
whatever.
silly. Like it's like so silly in terms of like, oh, what if we gave Sephiroth wing all the time? It's like, why are we even talking about this? Like, as someone who plays one of these characters, you're just making me like sad that my character sucks and that you have to like say such ridiculous hypotheticals to make it even worth playing the character. Like, I don't know. Like, I think recovery, it would make recovery really good, which would probably change a couple matchups. I don't know about high tier or whatever, but I just think Banjo's better than people think already.
See you.
Like,
Dude, that was a raw ass footage.
Yeah,
Drop ledge
this
Wonder
player is so good. Like, F tilt and down tilt are insane. Back air's
Down tilt's a
angle
very good move, and forward tilt. He's got some like pretty solid buttons.
Yeah, he has like a little bit of what makes Toon Link good, but I think there's like some more consistency there with like Toon Link isn't like Banjo's slightly better than Toon Link with like stray hit kills. Slightly.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. Maybe I'm a little biased because like I've been watching Toon Link struggle to kill for like so many years. But like I don't know.
Damn, this Banjo is fucking clean.
Dude,
Holy
I watch this Banjo player every time they're on screen.
That was so sick. He like set up a platform tech chase with the bugle gun
Double
and
up tilt?
just covered every single option. No, they even comment enough to after that he platform tech chases with Wonder Wing and covers every option and got a kill. Like that was fucked up. That's crazy.
See? You wouldn't see any Toon Link thing and say the phrase fucked up.
I don't know. I haven't
Let's
seen
see
it.
here.
He said
Oh,
earlier
Banjo-
that up B.
This
Ledge
Banjo
trapping.
fights.
Yeah, you
This
have to as
can fight,
Banjo.
bro.
They can grab your item and use it against you. You gotta go in with it, dude. It's such a fucking trash move. Banjo grenade is on at surface level where like the day Banjo dropped, everyone was doing the grenade ledge trapping and everyone was like, yo, I'm so nice with it with Banjo on my ledge traps, right? And then everyone just started realizing like, oh, it's an item. Like if you know anything about competitive Smash and just have any slight experience with item play, all of a sudden you just shut down the item and you're just like, oh yeah, wait, this move just sucks. Like,
bro, I didn't know the ending of this set was like this.
dude, against Min Min. Marcus, why don't you tell us some insight on this matchup?
Honestly,
Banjo wins.
Absolutely not. No, absolutely not.
It's comical. The up air just didn't work. Like this character. Look at what he has
part
to do.
of the matchup is actually really hard to deal with when you're off stage. That's
wow.
But that's like most Min matchups, and on stage is very easy.
Shots to Banjo, bro.
Yeah. But I think Banjo is a little bit better edge guarding Min than a lot of characters just because of the neutral being the up B and the nair lasting so long and having multiple jumps. But that's literally like the only thing. Oh, and you have to be careful of throwing your arms because of wondering. That's it. Otherwise, like you're just playing the game. You're not thinking. and then you throw them off stage. They either have to immediately Wonder Wing, or they have to come up with some crazy recovery route,
Yeah.
or they take infinite trying to get back, and then
It's
it's tough. Yeah.
When I play banjo, I be ledge slipping, bro.
Ooh, slipping Jimmy's back.
I be ledge slip neutral airing, and then they make it back because it's so weak. But
And you have to up
not
B,
even
and the
ledge
animation
flip.
takes 20 minutes because
but
you
then
can't
they
jump
get back
twice.
before I get back.
Yeah, because you can't jump twice because it doesn't go high enough, and it's just it's cool.
Do I air dodge? Do I up? They're already ledge trapping me. Shit. But in some matchups, they just like if they got a bad recovery. But like yeah, I don't know. Banjo's cool.
Wait.
Most people don't think that.
Quick throwback. Remember the glitch that you went all banjo?
Yeah.
What was that about?
Mostly banjo.
Like, I mean, the character just came out.
I can't remember who you lost to, and I was just mad. Oh,
I remember the situation. I remember the stage.
Never mind.
I lost to ESAM
on Lylat, and you down aired, and then like you just missed the stage. And you know what I always say about that scenario in glitch? I was like, maybe that was a good thing that Gavin
agreed
lost, because he probably dropped banjo because of that. Because what timeline would we be in if Gavin kept playing banjo? Like,
you'd be like,
imagine that timeline.
I'd be a more peaceful guy.
I don't know if that's true.
I just love the silly little character. But yeah, I don't know. Banjo's cool. A lot of people don't like banjo, but maybe I'm biased. Yeah.
He's like a quote unquote lame character, right, to fight up against.
Yeah, I'm sure fighting him online is terrible. I think he gets a little bit of a worse rep than he deserves. There's some worse options, especially nowadays.
I mean,
a lot
worse. Like, imagine a zoner character, but like they're really broken, right? Like, at least that's my thing. If I lose to banjo, I like you're almost not allowed to complain. Like, you can kind of complain, but the character's not even good. Like, you probably just suck versus zoners, which is okay. That's nothing wrong with.
Bro, I don't see any zone like about this.
Yeah, well,
he's fighting. The bear and the bird are fighting.
Hey, right here. Look at it.
I was gonna say something, but I forget what I was gonna say.
The bugle gun, baby. What a weird move. I think they did it really well design-wise. I think design-wise, they nailed it with banjo.
It's Breagle.
Breagle? Whatever.
I'm sorry. I apologize, Charles.
Oh.
Damn!
Oh, that's Snow. Yeah, Snow. Another, like, kid prodigy. Like, it's just, they're all over the place.
The master of Zero to Death.
Yeah, they also play Aegis. Yeah.
Oh,
okay. I see
Mario
it.
Man. Yeah, Mario Aegis.
Yeah.
The Mario Aegis pipeline.
All right. I can't wait for Geno in Smash 6, bro.
Oh, how confident are you on that?
It's funny. I talk about how unlucky Geno is as a character because, like, 27-year-old game finally gets a remake. Smash Ultimate's done being updated. It's like the timing is it just won't overlap. Like, the games just aren't overlapping ever. So if there is a new Smash, I guarantee it. But that's if there's a new Smash. It's just interesting that that's the point we're at. It's not about Geno or like licensing or like Geno's like in a good spot, but Smash isn't.
If we get a deluxe, do you think he'll be added to Ultimate?
I mean, I hope so.
Because the costume's already in, right? So it's like
that's happened before, right? I think that's happened plenty of times.
Yeah, you're right. I think K-Rool had a costume, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he got it.
So we'll see. Sorry to mention such a random thing during tournament stuff, but
no,
yeah,
it's cool.
I guess we could get into bonus content.
It's bonus time.
We're probably going to talk about our favorite tournaments of all time. We also have Watch the Throne coming up and stuff. So maybe we'll chat a little bit about that. But other than that, thanks for watching. Appreciate it. Hopefully Haz is here next time. We miss you, bro.
Yeah, we can get the whole squad at some point.
Yeah, we're all. This life is scattering us right now.
Oh, I'm gonna have a different background next time.
Dang, another move. How many times have you moved while we were doing this podcast? This will be the second move, right?
Yeah.
Second move. Holy crap.
I haven't
That's how
done
you can
anything.
tell we've been doing this shit for a long
I
time.
gotta catch up. I haven't done anything.
I moved rooms.
You move. Yeah, I was like, you move.
My desk setup changed, I think, maybe.
Yeah, I think you
It
used to
did.
have the drawer to the left, right?
Yeah, I think I might. I used to be like this way.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now I'm this way. But yeah, thanks for watching, y'all. Have a good one. Thanks for supporting the show, and have a good one. Thank you.
See you.
Bye.